Did you hurt her?
Nope.
Did you kill her?
Nope.
Did she attack you?
Nope.
Were you defending yourself?
Nope.
Juan Gonzalez reported his wife missing. 3 days later, her bank accounts were drained, the car was covered in blood, and the victim's phone was still at home. This was not a simple missing person case. This was a murder plot unraveling in the interrogation room.
Just tell us where she's at.
I don't know where she's at, Mitch. I don't know where she's at.
Pause right here, because what you just heard in those first 9 seconds tells you everything. Did you hurt her? Nope. Did you kill her? Nope. No emotion. No, of course not. No, how dare you ask me that? Just flat, one-word answers from a man who supposedly has no idea where his missing wife is. In interrogation science, this pattern has a name: minimal response syndrome, and it almost exclusively appears in one of 2 types of people: someone who has been coached by a lawyer to say as little as possible, or someone who has rehearsed their innocence so many times it no longer requires effort. Juan hadn't lawyered up yet, so ask yourself, which one is this?
On May 11th, 2016, Juan reported that Kathy Gonzalez had left the house after an argument and had not returned. Initially, the story focused on infidelity, marital conflict, and the possibility that the victim had left on her own. But within just a few days, bank records, blood traces in the car, and the phone constantly pinging from the house led the police to conclude the only person who needed to be questioned wasn't the external suspects, it was the husband himself. Juan Gonzalez entered the interrogation room with an unusually calm demeanor for someone who had just reported his wife missing.
This detail right here is what behavioral analysts call a baseline violation, and it is one of the first things trained detectives look for when interviewing a spouse in a missing person case. Think about what normal looks like. A husband who genuinely doesn't know where his wife is walks into that room, desperate, frantic, falling over himself to help. He volunteers every detail. He cries. He asks questions back. Juan Gonzalez walked in calm, settled, ready. That is not grief. That is preparation. And the detectives in that room noticed it immediately.
Okay, Juan, what I want to do is talk to you about what I found about your wife. Are you willing to talk to me and discuss what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I had told you, I did find out, I did a bunch of research. I had gone to HEB, not just that, but we also went to the cookie place where you and your wife worked, and did a lot of research, and I found out that she did have a double life. And she kept secrets from you, but she also kept secrets. She had 2 lovers.
Yeah, I knew that already.
Yes, and she kept secrets between them too. Mm-hmm. Okay? And on Wednesday, the day that she left, I need to go back and revisit and make sure I have all my bases covered on what exactly happened that morning. You said Wednesday, she goes in from what time to what time at HEB?
She was working that day. She went in at 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Supposed to be till 10:30, but she doesn't ever get off at that time.
And she works in the bakery as the assistant manager?
Assistant lead manager.
Okay, what time did you wake up? Were you awake when she left that morning, or she leave without you even knowing it?
I get up to check like if I wake up and she's gone already,
Mm-hmm.
I wake up to make sure the front door is locked, the screen door and the front door.
Okay.
Which, I mean, when I got up, it was already 6 o'clock because I get up to go to work at 7 in the morning.
Okay, so when she left to go to work at 2 a.m., were you up or asleep?
I was up.
Okay. What time did she leave?
She left early, like I told you that day. She had been leaving way before it was time to go. She probably left like 1:15, 1:30.
Okay. And she left in what vehicle?
The car.
Okay. That's the car she always drives, the black one, that Chevy Malibu?
We drive both of them, but when she's working, she drives the Malibu.
Okay. So you think she left at 1:15, 1:30. She left early, and she's supposed to be at work at HEB at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you said you got up at 6 a.m. Did y'all talk anymore between 1:15 or let's just say 1:15 and 6? Or was it?
Texting.
Or texting?
She was supposed to come and get Lee that morning to make sure he made it to daycare so that I wasn't late for work.
Okay.
I remember, I told you that too, that day. That way I'm not late to work because I have to be there at 7. So she takes Lee to daycare. And either she takes Nate to school or Nate walks.
Okay.
So
On that day, you said there was some texting between 1:15 till 6 a.m. About what time did you go to sleep?
it was off and on. It was off and on. Like every time she leaves the house, I can't sleep right, you know.
Okay.
So it's off and on. I'm either up every 30, awake, not up, moving around, awake.
Right.
Like I'll wake up, tossing and turning every 30 minutes, every hour until we get up. Because Lee's asleep with me in the bed at that time.
He sleeps with both of y'all, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then Nathan has his own. Nate has his own room, just right across the hall.
Yeah.
So about 6 a.m. you get up, and did y'all already make arrangements through text or by phone?
Through text.
Okay. She was going to come pick up.
She was gonna be at the house at 6:45.
Okay. She's going to take Nate to school, or did he take the bus that day? Do you remember?
Sometimes he takes the bus, sometimes he walks. I don't remember that day. But it's not that I don't remember, I don't know because I'm gone already. I leave when she got there at 6:45, I left.
Okay.
And she was there with Nathan and Lee.
And she makes sure that Nate gets to school, and she takes Lee to the daycare center. Obviously, that got done. And then between, you get to work at 7, and that's when you were working at
Potbelly.
Potbelly.
This is a master class interrogation strategy, and most people watching will miss it completely. The detective is not interrupting. She is not challenging. She is simply listening and letting Juan build his story higher and higher. Here's why that's brilliant. Every detail he volunteers becomes a wall he has to defend later. Every specific time, every specific location, every specific conversation is now locked in. When the physical evidence contradicts even one of those details, the entire structure collapses. Detectives call this narrative entrapment. You don't catch a liar by stopping them. You catch them by letting them finish.
From the start, he voluntarily shared a lot of information, almost without needing to be prompted. The story revolved around Kathy's infidelity, emotional instability, and a long-standing tense family dynamic. Juan painted himself as a betrayed husband, trying to understand why his wife might have left. The detectives let him speak continuously, without interruption, because the more he talked, the more Juan trapped himself into a single version of events.
And then that's why you told her you were going to pay Brian at the Tobacco Alley.
Well, I told her when I told her that, but then later, remember that day when you were at the house? I showed you you saw the text where I tell her I paid Brian already.
Right. And then she wanted the $180. Is that the money that was used to pay Brian, or is that something else?
No, that was something else. I gave her that money.
Okay, you gave her back that money. When did you give it back to her?
When I saw her at the house that afternoon. When she got off work.
Stop. This is the single most important forensic moment in the entire early investigation, and it arrives quietly. Juan's entire story depends on one thing: Kathy leaving that house alive. He placed her at the bank. He placed her driving to work. He placed her texting from across town. And a single surveillance camera just made every single one of those claims impossible. The car never moved, which means Kathy never left. And if Kathy never left, then everything Juan told police for 3 days was not confusion or poor memory. It was a constructed fiction, built from scratch, to cover something that happened inside that house.
Okay, Wednesday, 6:31 a.m. You're going to be the one in blue, and she's the one in red? Okay, you call her
Yeah.
Okay. Why all of a sudden did you want to pick up Lee? And she goes, I couldn't remember what was said about it because I was pissed. Do I need to or not? And you said yes. And that's Wednesday about 6:31 a.m. Well, I needed at least the $180 that you took from my purse. My suggestion to you is to go put in truck and lock it up, and I will go by and pick up. About 9:07 a.m. she texts, I was calling to see if you got my message. You didn't respond. Don't leave work to bring it to me because I don't want her getting mad.
My boss. She was talking
Okay.
about my boss.
Wait. I went way too fast. And then you responded, you responded? Who's getting mad? She said your boss. Okay, then she's about 11:44 a.m. she texts you, are you still there? And you text her, are you going to keep not talking to me? I paid Brian. We are in the same house and you won't talk.
Thursday night. It was Thursday, I think. When I texted her to see if she was going to come home, she said just leave. I texted her something. I remember at one point I texted her, she said leave me alone. Then the next time I texted her, I was like, are you going to come home tonight? She says, I'm staying with a friend. And I said, with who? Carmel.
Right.
And she said, that's not any of your business.
Right.
And that's the last time I ever heard from her, because it was Thursday. Because then Friday, texting her, she wouldn't answer the phone. Then tried to call her and the phone was off.
Watch this shift carefully, because this is the moment the interrogation changes gears entirely. Up until now, Juan has been the one telling the story. He's been in the driver's seat, controlling the narrative, filling silences. The second the detective puts physical evidence on the table, phone GPS coordinates, UTC timestamps, cell tower data, the dynamic flips completely. Now Juan is reacting. He's no longer telling a story, he's defending one. And there is a massive difference between those two things. One comes from memory, the other comes from fear.
You had, like I told you, did you hurt her?
Nope.
Did you kill her?
Nope.
Did she attack you?
Nope.
Were you defending yourself?
Nope.
Did she commit?
I don't know.
Did she commit at the house?
Nope.
Well, she never left the house. Someone talked, and no one else. It was just you and her at the house.
I understand what you're saying, Rosie, but when I left and we got back, she was gone.
When you left in her car. When you went to go pay, you say you went to Skipper's and you were in her car. When you went to go pay Tobacco Alley, you were in her car.
Yeah, that.
When you went to the bank, you were in her car.
That's
and
right.
you hadn't gotten home yet because you went to Skipper's first and you said you paid Tobacco Alley first before you went home. How did you have the car? You went to Skipper or whatever. How did you have the car?
When I got home, that's why I'm telling you. I couldn't remember. I think I might have been in the car that day because I remember at the bank.
But you said that when you did all of that before you went home to talk to her, she had the car. I have her at the car, leaving HEB. There's no way you
Right on cue, and this is textbook good cop architecture. The lead detective has pushed Juan to his limit. He's defensive, he's angry, he's dug in. And now a familiar face walks in with a softer voice and a lifeline. This is not accidental. This was planned before anyone walked into that room. The good cop's job is not to get a confession. His job is to get Juan comfortable enough to make the one admission that cracks the whole story open. Watch how precisely it works.
had the car.
Another detective entered, introducing a psychological lifeline. If the death was unintentional, one still had a chance to tell the truth. As the detective cross-checked camera footage, phone data, and message timestamps, one's story increasingly fell out of sync. He initially denied holding the phone, then partially admitted it when pressed further.
Mitch, don't even start, dude.
Just settle down.
Man.
Listen, I'm going to tell you straight up, looking at you, I don't think you did anything.
Well, you know, like, why is she
Relax.
just drilling me like that?
Because that's her job.
I know, but
That's her job. And they're trying to figure out what happened. The only thing that bothers me is I don't think you did anything to her. I've known you for a long time, and I watch how you act, and I've talked to you a bunch of times. But I'm telling you, something happened. I don't think you did anything to her. But I think you know where she's at.
I don't
Hang
know.
on. And the reason, and I'm not going to bang you up, and I'll just get out of here and leave in a minute. But here's the deal. Why I think that is because I've known you for a while. I've known you for a long time. I've helped you out. I've known you for a long time. But I know you know where she's at.
I don't know where she's at, Mitch. Those are games, too.
No, I'm not playing a game with you.
You're telling me that you don't believe I did something to her, so I go ahead and tell you, yeah, okay.
No. I believe that because the way you looked at her when you were answering her, I'm just going to tell you, the way you looked at her when you're answering her, when you said, I didn't do anything, it was a very, very good answer for their sake. And if you didn't do it, you know who, I'm not saying did anything criminal to her. I'm not saying any of that happened because I don't know. I'm just saying I believe that for whatever reason, people make strange decisions under stress, that somebody thought it was a better idea that A to happen as opposed to B.
The pace of the interrogation shifted. Juan no longer narrated a coherent story and only reacted to the evidence. Tension in the room escalated. He became defensive, repeatedly denying key points. Control of the interview slipped from Juan's hands, and it became clear that all technical evidence contradicted the version he had constructed. This was the moment the audience realized Juan's story was unraveling.
You did not send this text message from a computer. It was sent from a device. And the reason I know that is because of this universal time code, okay? Can't be sent from the computer because your computer is sitting in the Central Standard Time Zone because that's where you're at. You know, it tells you the time where you're at on your computer, okay? The phone companies use what's the old Greenwich Mean Time, but now it's called Universal Time Code. So looking at what they got from their search warrant, this came from her device.
I didn't send that text.
Let's break down exactly what just happened, because this is forensic evidence being deployed in real time, and it is devastating. Universal Time Code, UTC, is the timestamp embedded in every message sent from a mobile device. Unlike your phone's display clock, which adjusts to your local time zone, UTC is fixed, global, and cannot be manually altered. When two phones show the same UTC coordinates at the same GPS location, it is mathematically impossible for them to be in different places. Juan claimed he was across town. The phones say otherwise. You cannot argue with coordinates. You cannot explain away timestamps. This is why digital forensics has become the single most powerful tool in modern murder investigations, because phones don't lie even when people do.
Okay, well, then
I mean, I know what that says.
you said she was asleep, and you said, hey, you knew she got a text.
Yeah, through the computer.
No, you didn't, because look,
Computer.
I'm telling you, it came through her device. You saw her phone. You saw this message on her phone. So, man, I can't get you past that. I mean, I'll take up for you all I can, but I can't get you past that.
I understand.
And so I know you had her phone, and that's not helping you. You're probably making this a whole lot worse. Bad, don't get me wrong, not for you, but I'm talking about the situation. You're probably making it a whole lot worse than if you just told what happened.
Nothing happened
Okay.
between me and Kat.
I didn't say it did between you and her, but the situation happened. Something happened that you ended up with her phone and texting back and forth with people. That, whether it may be completely righteous, that doesn't look good. And now that you've lied about it, you've got to get in front of it. Because this, I'm going to tell you, I'm a nuts and bolts dude, and you cannot, like I said, I believe you. I believe you didn't do anything. But you can't get past this is black and white. And so I know you used her phone. I mean, like I said, you do what you think you need to do, but you used her phone. And I know you're pissed off that the way they treated you and the way the cops acted towards you, I understand all that. But you're not going to get past this. It's not getting passable. You can say whatever you want to say, and they'll either believe you or you don't. But this, you cannot get past it.
I don't know, Mitch, but I know I didn't do anything to my wife, man, and Rosie's just adamant.
And that's fine. You tell me what happened. Okay, nothing happened between you. You keep saying that, and I believe
And
you.
I didn't get home and find Kathy dead or anything like that.
Okay, then what happened? You know she just didn't run off. Come on, dude. Y'all had troubles before. Y'all separated 7 years ago. You've been together, what, 12, 14 years?
Like 19,
Yeah,
almost 20.
19, 20 years. There's bumps in the road, and she may have been going on her way. But you know things don't end like that. And again, I'm going to tell you, sit right here and tell you 100% the truth. I don't believe you did anything to her. And I'm looking you man to man, eye to eye. But you better be able to figure out this situation. Because you're not going to get past this. The phones are at the same location when the message was sent.
Regardless, Mitch, if I tell you I had her phone or I don't tell you I have her phone.
I know, you didn't do anything to her. I got you.
But still, that's not what I'm getting at. Rosie's going to put me in jail today regardless.
Oh, I don't think so, but I don't know anything about that. But what I'm saying is, you're not going to get past this. And you know I'm going to straight up shoot with you. I mean, that's just all it is. You had her phone. For whatever reason you had her phone, I don't know. And nobody will know unless you tell them. They may believe you and they may not. But at least you're going to tell your side of the story. Because right now, your side of the story ain't getting told. These right here are from your phone and her phone. They're close in proximity, and based on the GPS coordinates, they're at the same place. I can't get you past it. I mean, I can show you the science of it. I can show you the...
I don't need to see all that.
I mean, you probably know more about it than I do.
Nah, I don't know nothing about all that. Where's Rosie? I need to ask her if I need to call my friend.
Well, she's mad at you. I mean, you're mad at her. She thinks you're mad at
Damn
her.
right, I'm mad at her. She's been treating me like crap since day one and lying to me.
But think about it. You put yourself in this situation. And I don't know all the facts, so don't get me. I'm not even going to talk about them because I don't know all the facts. But whatever the facts they got, they believe something happened. And they believe you had something to do with it. So if you were over here and you believe something happened, what would you be doing?
I'd be trying to
The
get someone
same
to tell me the
thing.
truth. Yeah.
Same
But
thing. So, but you can't take it personal, and I realize that's not possible. I got you. It's not possible. I realize. But you can't take it personal that everybody's got their own beliefs. You have your own beliefs.
she's had it like that since day one when Kathy's dad told her what he told her, because that man ain't never like, you can't milk a cow that ain't for milking. You know, it
Yeah,
ain't got
I got
titties, you know? And she's adamant that I did something to Kat, and I didn't, man. Like,
Okay, that's great.
we've been through way worse things than that, Mitch, and I didn't. Never. And so what if she was telling people she was done with me? That's been said before, too, and
Yeah,
we
I know.
stayed together.
Oh, exactly. It happens every day.
When logic failed him, all one could cling to was absolute denial. At this point, the detectives still didn't have enough evidence to confirm him as the perpetrator of the crime. However, he was still taken into custody for abuse of trust.
You know, I went and looked at the actual return from Verizon. I looked at both phones' cell phone coordinates, the timestamp between the text that was happened before and the text, because obviously I knew when she texted you at some point and you text her, you weren't at the same place. When she says I'm at work, and I checked the universal timestamp on that to where it shows it's coming from to your house, to your work, Potbelly or whatever that is, and they're in different places. So it shows. So when these two are this close together, but both phones are in the same place, then that's bought and paid for. I can't fix it and I can't change it. All I can tell you is this is going to look real bad unless you have an explanation of why it happened, a reasonable explanation of why it happened. And I can tell you, and you know it as well as I do. For whatever reason, she may have been gone, but you're texting on her phone, and I don't blame you. I'd have been trying to find out what was going on too.
Look, Mitch, I'm going to tell you this, but I know it's just going to lead to something else. So,
Okay.
you know, she's going to be, and I know they're listening. Whoever,
Oh yeah, you know that.
It's going to lead to, okay, well, if you're lying about this, then what else are you lying about?
That's right. It will. Hang on. It will. Except at least you will have a voice in this. Because right now, you do not have a voice in
Okay,
this.
look, the day she gave me the phone,
Okay.
I took off with it.
All right.
When I left to go pay Brian and pick up the boys, I left with the phone and wouldn't give it back to her,
Okay.
and left the house.
Okay.
So when we got back and she was gone, I figured either she went to her dad's or Carmel picked her up.
Notice what just happened. Juan gave up one truth to protect a bigger lie. He admitted taking the phone because the GPS evidence made denying it impossible. But by admitting it, he's created a new problem he didn't anticipate. Because now the question isn't, did he have the phone? The question is, if Kathy was alive and well when he left with it, why was he texting her contacts pretending to be her? That is not the behavior of a worried husband looking for his wife. That is the behavior of someone trying to manufacture the illusion that she was still alive.
So you're saying that she had her phone. When she showed you the text messages, you took it.
Yeah, I took the phone and left.
Yeah, I would have too. So you left. But once you come back, she's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the phone?
I had it.
I know, but where is it at now?
It's probably in the house somewhere. Lee's been playing with it because it has games on it.
Okay. You need to get that and let them have it. Because then you can they can look at it and see that there's not a bunch of other bad shit going on it. And you have your voice in it. Okay? So, like I said, and you know as well as I do, yeah, it'll come up. Well, if you lied about that, what else you lied about? I'm going to tell you, I don't believe you did anything. But just like I told you, you're going to have to man up at some point. If there is something, I'm not talking about you doing anything criminal. Did you do anything to your wife?
No, sir,
Okay.
I didn't.
If you didn't, did you find her when she had done something to herself?
No, I don't. And if she does something to herself, I don't believe she would have done it right there in the house for us to find her. She knew I was going to get the kids. Why would she want the kids to see something like that?
So after she's gone, and you know she's left before and walked around or gone wherever, and she shows back up in a certain amount of time. At some point, you start wondering, well, obviously, all this stuff about you calling her and texting her, why were you doing that?
Because I wanted to see where she was at. Or
The problem is you had her phone.
I know, but I was texting these people because I wanted it to be like, okay, well, Kat, you're here with us. Who's got your phone?
Okay. So you were texting people acting like you were her to try to get people to say, who the hell is this? Okay. To see if you could figure out where she was at. Anybody in particular that you had an idea that she might go to?
Just those two guys that she was fooling around with in Carmel.
Who's Carmel?
Carmel Wynn. Her sister's, or I guess it's her sister, y'all. Crystal's married to Dimitri, a police officer, black guy here. Anyway, it's her best friend. It's supposed to be her best friend.
A month later, Juan unexpectedly requested to speak with Detective Rosie, the one he had hated most during the previous interrogation. What plan did he have? And what was the scheme behind this meeting? Juan didn't come to confess. He came to see if his narrative was still safe. When Rosie pointed out the inconsistencies in his statements, Juan agreed to talk. He repeated almost his entire old alibi, from the timeline to the smallest details. The excessive consistency made the detectives realize this wasn't a natural memory, it was a rehearsed script.
This move right here is one of the most psychologically revealing moments in this entire case, and it tells you everything about who Juan Gonzalez is. He specifically requested the detective he hated most, the one he accused of having it out for him from day one. Why? Because Juan had spent a month calculating. He came back to that room not to confess, but to test the walls of his story. He wanted to know what Rosie had. He wanted to see if his alibi was still holding. This is not the behavior of an innocent man seeking justice for his missing wife. This is the behavior of someone doing damage control and walking straight into the trap they built for him. Here is something that almost no one outside of law enforcement knows, and it is one of the most reliable tells in any interrogation. When someone is recalling a real memory, the details are never perfectly consistent. They remember some things vividly, blur others, correct themselves, add things they forgot the first time. Memory is messy because real experience is messy. But when someone is reciting a fabricated story, the details are almost too consistent. Same words, same sequence, same emphasis. Juan's second account matched his first account with a precision that natural memory simply cannot produce. Investigators call this scripted recall, and juries understand it immediately.
There's no doubt that you did something to her.
I didn't do anything to her, Rosie.
She's not going to leave all her belongings. She's not going to leave her clothes. She's not going to leave her driver's license. She's not going to leave her social security, her checks, her credit cards, her debit card behind. She's not going to leave that. She's not, her phone, she has nowhere to go. She was there.
I don't know, Rosie. As far as that, I didn't do anything to Kat. We've been through way worse stuff than that. Anybody that knows
But
us
this
will tell
time
you that.
it was worse than ever because she was done with you. She was kicking you out of the house.
She wasn't kicking me out. That never came out of her mouth. And if it had, I didn't know about it. She must have told somebody else. She never told me anything like that. And if it was like that, if she wanted me gone that bad, she knew at any time she could go to her dad's.
She was going, you were out, not her, out of the house.
What I'm saying is, if she wanted me out, she knows I ain't got anywhere to go. She would have gone to her dad's.
She let you stay there for that reason, because you had nowhere to go. And she needed you to take care of the kids, so when she goes at 2 o'clock in the morning to work, the kids wouldn't be by themselves.
Oh, because she was here lately. She had never been around for the kids.
Everyone says different.
Everyone did.
I know. Now, I'm not saying you're a bad father, because you've always been there for them. But she was the provider. So she's always been for the kids, because she's always been the provider.
Listen, she's going to go on what the evidence is, whatever that may be, okay? You know what it is as well as anybody. I mean, I don't know. It's her DNA in the car. You're not going to be able to come up with a reasonable explanation of that. You started off this whole deal bad by lying to him to begin with. That doesn't look good for you, okay? So whatever it may be, you have those humps that you're going to have to overcome if you didn't do it. But here's the problem, is that you know as well as I do, it's basically a puzzle. And all these pieces are falling against you, not for you. And I don't care what anybody else said about what you and her said to each other, because that, to me, that doesn't make much difference. The bottom line is, there's physical evidence and forensic evidence that you're not going to be able to explain. I can't explain it.
And here is where Juan's entire strategy collapses in a single word: strangulation. He constructed a story around Kathy taking pills. He built an emotional narrative about her being depressed, about her being mad at herself. He even referenced things she supposedly said in the past about not wanting to live. Every single thread of his "she did it to herself" story points toward overdose, towards something self-inflicted. But strangulation is not self-inflicted. Strangulation requires two hands that are not your own. The forensic pathologist's report didn't just contradict Juan's story, it erased it. Everything he said in that room from the moment he sat down was built on a foundation that one autopsy result just turned to dust.
Her found, and let's get her back so you can deal with what you need to deal with, her family can deal with what they need to deal with. Because it's not going to get any better for you unless you make those steps to mitigate have some remorse if something happens. Have some feelings if something happens. There's a lot of things that play into that, but you're not going to get any benefit of that unless you step forward and help her find and tell us where she's at. Then you can start healing yourself. It's not going to happen, and it's not going to change the outcome. It'll better the outcome if you step up and do the right thing, but it's not going to change the outcome if you don't. So please do the right thing. And it is what it is. We're to the end of this. You're fixing to either fall off the mountain or start working your way back up. That's it. That's where we're at. So I'm telling you, as somebody that don't believe you're that bad a guy, you've made some mistakes, but for somebody that really doesn't believe, knowing you as long as I've known you, that you're not that bad a guy, please do the right thing. And let's finish this. All it's doing is stringing out. Don't make that happen anymore. You can stop a lot of the pain, but you gotta man up. Mistakes are made. Fix it. Just tell us where she's at.
I don't know where she's at, Mitch. I don't know where she's at. I don't know where she's
Then
at.
who does?
I don't know, Mitch.
Look at what you're looking at. Look at the evidence. Just look at the evidence.
I don't know what the evidence
I'm
is.
telling you. There's her blood in the car. Your initial lies. So you tried to make it like she ran off. That's in my mind, when they started talking about it, that's what I believed. It got stressful for her. She did something to herself. You stumbled into it. Then you think, nobody's going to believe me. I'm on federal probation. We've been having troubles. All this stuff. And so I'm stuck. What am I going to do? I've got to try to make it look like she disappeared. Ran off on her own.
Juan changed course. He no longer claimed absolute innocence, but began talking about his emotions and the harsh words he had said to Kathy. This was a sign that he was trying to downplay his role.
I don't know. I talked pretty bad to her that day.
Hey, it's not your fault if she did something to herself. People do strange things.
I don't know what she did to herself.
Okay. Okay, so what happened?
All I know is I left the house that day and she came out after me into the front yard and was yelling at me because I told her that I'd rather be gone with the kids than to see her do this to all three of us. Nathan, I told Nathan straight up the day before that I thought his mom was really cheating. And Nathan could tell stuff was going on, and asking questions, and I didn't want to lie to him.
He's a smart boy.
And you've done a good job raising him.
Huh?
You've done a good job raising him.
Anyway, when I was leaving, she says, I told her, you need to just go to your dad's. I don't want to see you when I come back. I said, remember how you used to talk down to me and that I was a piece of shit, when I was doing the stuff I was doing? I said, well, you're a piece of shit, and
Just breaking up the family.
And I told her that. Anyway, when I got back home, I had gone to go to the bank and pay Brian.
He admitted that he found Kathy unresponsive and, out of fear, hid the body. He believed that confessing to concealment would help him avoid a murder charge. Juan described wrapping the body in a blanket and transporting it to a vacant lot near the highway, but the forensic evidence completely shattered this theory. Kathy had died from strangulation. Juan's confession did not save him. It only completed the logical picture for the prosecution.
I mean, I don't know if she took all those pills, Rosie. I mean, only...
I saw those bottles right there and they were empty.
Yeah, but I don't know when she was taking those pills or whatever.
So you got home.
I got home and she was laying on the kitchen. On the kitchen floor between the stove and the refrigerator.
I mean, was she like bleeding or was she just laying there?
Like passed out.
She was laying down face first. I turned her over and she had a cut right here. That's how I found her.
Okay. So then what happened?
Listen to the pauses, the snorts, the way he keeps stopping mid-sentence. This is what genuine cognitive load looks like in real time. But it is not the cognitive load of grief. It is the cognitive load of someone who is simultaneously constructing and delivering a story under pressure while trying to ensure every detail is consistent with what he's already said. Notice what's missing. He never once says, "I loved her." He never says, "I can't believe she's gone." He describes finding his wife of nearly 20 years on the kitchen floor the same way you describe finding a flat tire. That absence of love, in a moment like this, is its own kind of confession.
You panicked.
I panicked because I'm on federal paper and my record, and...
It's understandable.
And the kids.
We've got to hold it together for just a little bit more. So you put her in the car?
No, I put her in the truck. It took me a while because of my back and my leg. And the whole time I was just mad, like, what did you do? What did you do? And because when I told her she was a piece of shit, she was like, when I got busted back in 2010 or whatever, I told her I'd just rather be dead. She was mad about everything. And I told her, I should just, myself, and she says, well, if I'm a piece of shit, then I don't deserve to be with you. She was mad at herself, just like I told you, Carmel told me that she had been mad at herself. And I don't know if she took pills or what she did.
So you put her in the truck, and where did you take her?
I wrapped her up in some blankets, and I took her up there on... is that highway going towards San Angelo?
158? Okay.
There's a bunch of pump jack derricks out there, and there's a ravine or something, and I didn't know what to do.
Okay, did you just lay her down out there?
Yeah.
How far off the roadway is it?
I don't even know the name of the road. It's
1379? How far out is it?
Man, it's a pretty good ways out there. It's where a pioneer was drilling out there.
Okay.
You take her pillows also to make her comfortable. So.
All right, well, this is what we're going to do, okay? You're going to smoke you a cigarette and drink you some Coke, and then we're going to load you up in a car and you're going to take us, okay?
All right.
Juan Gonzalez spent 3 days building what he thought was an airtight story. A missing wife, an unfaithful marriage, a woman who had reasons to disappear. And for a moment, it almost worked. But here's what this case teaches us about modern criminal investigation. You can manipulate people. You can construct timelines. You can delete messages and drain bank accounts and drive a body 30 miles out of town. But you cannot manipulate UTC timestamps. You cannot relocate GPS coordinates. You cannot change what a forensic pathologist finds on an autopsy table. Juan Gonzalez wasn't caught because he said too little. He was caught because he said too much, and the evidence said something completely different.
Juan Gonzalez ultimately admitted in court that he had strangled his wife in a fit of rage. The jury convicted him of murder and evidence tampering. Juan was sentenced to life in prison, completely ending any attempt to stage the perfect disappearance.